Good morning, everyone. I hope you're well. It is Bridget here, and welcome to Bridget's Kitchen, a quick little cooking class that I thought I would do with you guys because it is breakfast here in Sydney. Breakfast time, I think it's around about 11 a.m., maybe even a little bit earlier than 11 a.m. And I thought I would do, yesterday I did a little breakfast cooking muffin for you guys. Did you see that? Really cool brain muffin. I called it a blueberry brain muffin, and I also did a chocolate chip one. If you are interested in watching that video, just got to go back onto Bridget's Kitchen and scroll through the videos and you can watch that video. It was a very cool little cooking class we did yesterday. But today I thought I would do something and ask that question. You know, what is the healthiest breakfast for you guys to have? Because there is just so many options out there. Now, one thing you would have noticed is that I take the word breakfast and I actually break it in two. I call it break fast, because that's basically what you're doing when you eat. The first thing you eat after sleeping, after not eating for a sustained period of time, is when you break your fast. So you're no longer in a fasted state. That doesn't mean it has to happen at 8 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock in the morning. You can break your fast when you feel that you're ready. So breakfast is something that has been manufactured, that idea of breakfast. And you know, you've got to have cereal and you've got to have a croissant and you've got to have all these sort of things. No, you don't. That's what manufacturers have led us to believe, and they have literally marketed their way into our diet. Now it's time for us to push them out of our diet. When you are in the morning or whenever you get up, right? Because some people do shift work. When you wake up, whatever time that is, when you first eat something, that is called breaking your fast or breakfast. It doesn't have to happen at a certain time. Remember this. The best thing that you can do for your body right from the start, the first thing you can do for your body is, of course, and I talk about this all the time, is start your day off with a big glass of water or a big bottle of water, at least 500 mils to 1 liter, which is a couple of pints in old language. A couple of pints of water, filtered water, little sprinkle of salt. Just a little pinch of salt into your water is going to help to balance your minerals as well. That's where you start. But if you actually get a little bit hungry and you're looking forward to having some food as well, that's when you break your fast. So what is the best thing that you can actually break your fast with? And breaking your fast, as I was saying, it doesn't have to be a certain time of the day. It's just what you do to break that fast. That's the really important thing. So we're going to be talking about that today. But before we talk about that, I've got one thing to share with you guys, and this is super exciting. Just one little thing to share with you. Please bear with me. And it has to do with Mahe and I are really busy at the moment getting organized because we're about to travel quite extensively for the next couple of months. And our very first port of call is we're off to Singapore next week. And we are there in Singapore for about a week, and we're going to be meeting up with lots and lots of friends. So if you are based in Singapore and you want to do a little bit of a meetup, please let us know. Send us a private message, because we are organizing a meetup in Singapore at one of the hawkers centers, and we're going to eat some delicious food and we're going to have a really good, healthy time. So if you're in Singapore, or you're going to be in Singapore from the 26th, which is Australia Day, from the 26th, I think we're there until like I think about 5 or 6 days. Please let us know. Drop us a message, because we are organizing a hawker stall meetup in Singapore for the following week, from the 26th of January. But after that, we're actually going to New Zealand. And this is the very first time we've been to New Zealand to officially launch more from Bridget's Healthy Kitchen. Because you guys know, right? This has been named the best diet and wellness cookbook in New Zealand for 2019. It won that award only in early December. So we're finally going to New Zealand to have the official book launch. If you want to come to that official book launch, it's a book launch / cooking class / party, or 3, why not? If you want to come to that, there is still a few tickets left. There is not many, because it is seated. It is it's like a little mini stadium. So you have to get tickets to it. You can't just turn up on the day. You have to get tickets, because it is seated, and there's only a certain number of tickets available. If you want to come to that book launch in Auckland, it is on February the 13th. You cannot forget that, because it's the day before Valentine's Day. The day before Valentine's Day in Auckland. It is the only book launch that we're doing in New Zealand. It is the only one. So it is on February the 13th. We are launching more from Bridget's Healthy Kitchen. We are also, as well as doing that, we are also got some giveaways as well. That's why it's really, really exciting. So if you want to come to that, Mahay's going to pop up a link. Have you popped up that link, Mahay? It's coming now. Popping up that link to that Auckland class. Get your tickets. Once they're gone, I can't fit any more people in. We are at capacity. That is it. So you need to get your tickets for that launch. There's a couple reasons why. Number one, we get to do a cooking class, which is going to be really exciting, and all the recipes are coming straight from More. So a bit of inspiration for your evening. And yes, it is an evening event. Starts at 6:30. But the other thing that we're going to be doing, thanks to our amazing friends at Lenovo, Australia and New Zealand, they have given us all these really cool Lenovo products to give away at the launch. You have to be at the Auckland launch in order to go into the draw, and we'll literally pull your number out of a hat. And we have 3 prizes to give away on the day at the Auckland launch. The first one, can you see what's behind me? You guys see this all the time, right? You guys see this? That always sits behind me in my kitchen. That is my smart display, my Lenovo smart display. I watch videos on it, I watch YouTube, I listen to music, I convert things, I ask it questions, it tells me about my day, I listen to the news, I do everything on my smart display. I use it every single day. And guess what Lenovo is giving away? Dun, 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 dun. Lenovo is giving away a smart display. So if you come to the Auckland launch, the first thing they're giving away is the smart display, which is amazing. The next thing they're giving away is the smart clock, which actually sits in your bedroom. It accompanies the smart display. And what you can then do is you can link this screen to the screen in your bedroom. It is phenomenal. It was named as one of the best new technology items for 2019 in Las Vegas and CES in January last year. This little smart clock is incredible. It will very gently wake you up. Like literally, it will gently wake you up. It will gently change colors in your room, and you can link it to your smart display, and you can have what is known as a smart home, a smart hub. So we're giving away that as well. And the third thing that Lenovo have so generously given us to give to you guys, which is incredible, is one of their latest new generation tablets. So their new generation tablets, it is got a little, it's called what's known as a hang mode. So you can actually hang it. It has a little hook, and you can hang your tablet, and you can watch videos, and you can, listen to music and all that sort of stuff. It is amazing. So they're also giving us a tablet to give to you guys. So come along to the class, because not only do we get to hang out, which is the best part, right? We get to hang out. Yes, we're having an after function, and we'll be announcing where that after function is going to happen. Once you order your tickets, we'll be sending everyone a note to say if you want to come to the after function, you're more than welcome to. You're more than welcome to come to the after function. But then we've got all these Lenovo stuff to give away. So, all right, I'm done. Auckland class, make sure you come February the 13th at 6:30 p.m. It is hosted in Auckland, and is the only class and only book launch for New Zealand. Not that I don't love New Zealand, but we're just really busy. With the whole week we're in New Zealand, we have back-to-back interviews with television and radio, so it's really, really busy, because New Zealand is so excited that this book has been named the best diet and wellness cookbook in New Zealand for 2019. So it's really exciting. So that's what we're doing. Before we do any of that sort of stuff, we've got Singapore coming up. Let us know if you're in Singapore, because we'd love to do a meetup with everyone in Singapore as well who follows us here on Bridget's Kitchen. So let's get into the food. As I was saying, we're doing what is potentially the healthiest breakfast. And one of the things I love about this particular breakfast is just how convenient it is, because I love breakfast. In fact, I wrote a cookbook called Breakfast Around the World, not a healthy one, just a really cool one. That won a Gourmand book award for being the best breakfast cookbook in the world for 2018. You could say I kind of like breakfast, but remember, I now break that word down to break fast. It's 2 words, not 1. Breakfast doesn't have to be at a certain time of the day. It has to be when you feel hungry. And ideally, you start your day with your water, with just the tiniest sprinkle of salt in your water as well. Big bottle of water, big glass of water. That's how you start your day. And also, ideally, you don't actually have your break fast for a couple of hours. You don't wake up and start eating. That's the last thing you want to do, because when you wake up, your body is in a state where it's quite high in this hormone called cortisol. Now, if anyone's unfamiliar with what cortisol It's kind of like our stress hormone. It's our fight or flight hormone. And when our body, and this is just natural, when you wake up in the morning, your cortisol levels are higher than during other parts of the day. This is when they're at their peak. And that's kind of like our wake up hormone, gets us ready for the day. If we suddenly start filling our body full of food, our insulin levels are going to spike. And because our cortisol is already high, our insulin levels are now already spiked, your chances of losing fat or breaking down fat and using it for energy are now completely diminished because your cortisol is high and your insulin is high because you've just eaten. So ideally, you don't want any of that to happen. It's like the worst case scenario if you're doing this for a weight loss perspective. From a weight loss perspective, you definitely don't want to have high cortisol and high insulin at the same time. So ideally, you start your day with your water, you start your day with that little pinch of salt, it's going to balance out your minerals, and then wait at least a couple of hours before you eat. At least a couple of hours before you eat. So your cortisol levels have that time to naturally diminish before you start to put food into your body. So that's definitely an idea as well. And hi to Jakey joining us from Pennsylvania. What time would it be there? And we've got Joanna who's joining us from LA as well. Joanna, nice for you to join us. And Jackie, thank you for joining us as well. So yes, what is the best food? Once we've had our water, we've waited a couple hours before we eat, so we've allowed our cortisol levels to come right back down and kind of normalize. What's the best thing that we could possibly eat? And I know that societies have been telling us, oh, you've got to have cereal. You've got to start your day with a big bowl of cereal. No, you don't. That is literally marketing speak. This is what they said. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. That was all marketing in order to get us to buy their cornflakes and their Captain Crunch and their honey puffs and their rice bubbles and all that other stuff that they're selling us, which is basically like selling us a big bowl of sugar. 4:18 in the afternoon, that's not too bad, Joanna. Better than 4:18 in the morning. And we've got another Joanna joining us from Colorado. Mwah! Hello, my love. Thank you for joining us. We've got lots and lots of our US friends joining us today. So welcome to Bridget's Kitchen. Welcome. So yes, the marketing speak is we need to have cereal. No, you don't. You need to start your day with some type of toast or pastries. No, you don't. No, you don't. You know what you should start your day with? You should start your day with a balanced meal. Remember, break fast, not breakfast. You should break your fast with something really, really balanced. Something that has protein, something that has a little bit of carbohydrates, and something that also has the nutrients involved in it. And one of those ways to break your fast, which is really good for you, is with eggs. And you guys would know this from me. Eggs. That's my Kiwi. Eggs. Eggs. Sorry. Sometimes I hear my own accent and I go, what the? So this is my New Zealand eggs. We're going to start our day with eggs. Well, this is one of the ideas. I'm not saying you have to, but this is going to be a really positive way for you to start your day. So if you want to start your day with eggs, there's a couple different egg ways that you can start your day, obviously. In our first healthy cookbook, right? So this is the yellow one, Bridget's Healthy Kitchen. If you go and it's broken down breakfast, lunch and dinner, so it's really easy to navigate this book. And if you go into it, you will notice that in the breakfast section, I do have a number of recipes that involve eggs. And you're probably wondering why. Have I got this thing for eggs? Do I think eggs are amazing? I do. But there's actually a little bit more to it than just the eggs, the fact that I think eggs are delicious. So one of the things about eggs is, and one of the wonderful things about them is that they're low in calories. So there's about 70, if you are a calorie counter. Personally, I'm not a calorie counter. I don't have any calories in my book either, because I just find it to be, we need to look at the way we eat and not just think about counting calories, because we can get a little bit out of control, right? But if you are a calorie counter, I'm going to say that eggs are low in calories. There's only 77 calories in a large egg, which is really good. So if you start your day with a two egg omelette, that's only not even just 150 calories, right? There's nothing wrong with that. So they are low in calories, but they are also incredibly high in nutrients. So we're talking about vitamins A, vitamins E, vitamins D, And also, you know, the wonderful thing is that they're high in antioxidants as well. And so remember, antioxidants are our soldiers. I'm always like punching because they're our soldiers. So they're good for eye health. They're good for brain health. You guys know I'm big on brain health. And they are a good source of good fats. So the yolk there, and I know the yolk's been demonized and vilified as being, oh, it's pretty bad for raising your cholesterol and it's bad for your heart health. There has been no research done that can prove those. This is what we were told about eggs, about yolks. So if you've always been like, I'm just going to have an egg white omelet, you are missing out on the best part of the egg, which is actually the nutrients and the good fats that are in the yolk. So they're good for weight loss because it's like I was saying, they're kind of like that perfect food because they have all the things in it that we need. They have the protein, which is great. They also have the naturally occurring good fats in the yolk, and they've got a little bit of carbohydrates. So our body looks at that and goes, you know what? That's a complete food. I'm feeling full. I'm feeling satisfied. So they are good for weight loss because they're going to help to keep you fuller longer. And if you're using it to break your fast, how perfect is that, right? Because now you have a food that's really good at high in nutrients, protein, carbohydrates, a little bit of good fat, but it's also helping to keep you full. So eggs are good in that way. Eggs, as I was saying, the yolks are where all the goodness is. The yolks where all the good stuff is. Good for cognitive functioning and processing. So it's good for our brain, which is amazing. And it will also help to protect our brain from aging. How cool is that? It's looking after what's happening up here. I mean, the main thing to remember when it comes to eggs is you need to choose the best quality eggs that your money can buy. I know we're all at different places when it comes to budget, but if you can buy the best do you see what my t-shirt says? It's not you, it's me, gluten-free, because it's not. I love gluten. I love bread. I can't have it. Yeah, that's my t-shirt. It's not you, it's me, gluten-free. Thank you for noticing my t-shirt. So yes, when it comes to eggs, choose the best quality eggs that you can buy. The best quality that you can afford within your budget. The ideal eggs are pasture-raised, organic eggs. They are by hands down the best ones that you can buy. But they're right at the top end of the purchasing scale, right? So next best thing, if you can't get pasture-raised organic eggs, then you need to get eggs that are high or enriched in omega-3s. That's the stuff that's really good for our brain health, protecting our brain, cognitive functioning, processing, all those sort of things. Once again, if you can't get there, then the next one down the line is to get a free-range egg. If you can do that, you're still, better than having the factory barn eggs, which are kind of the conventional eggs down the other end of the scale. But look, don't beat yourself up about the quality of the eggs, the fact that you're actually cooking for yourself and you're not relying on, rice bubbles and Cocoa Pops. This is a good thing. This is a brilliant thing. So eggs, best quality that you can personally buy, and then you get to cook the eggs. And we're going to do that right now because I've talked so much today. I'm sorry, I'm like jabberjaws. Apologies. All right. What are we going to be cooking today? I'm doing a non-dairy, and thank you if you've all hung around for this because you're like, when's she going to start cooking? I'm doing a non-dairy, cheesy scrambled eggs. And you're like, how is that possible? Cheese has dairy. Yes, usually they do. But today in our eggs, we're doing a non-dairy cheesy scrambled eggs. Really easy. Let me get my ish together. Come on down to my bench. Come on down. Join me down here. All right. So non-dairy. So what is a non-dairy egg for a start? Well, eggs don't have dairy, let's be honest. Eggs are eggs. Eggs are eggs, as we say in New Zealand. Eggs are eggs. And I have my lovely little coconut shell full of eggs here. Ideally, again, when you're making eggs, any type of eggs, I don't put my eggs in the fridge. I actually leave them at room temperature. I do, because they're better for baking, they're better for cooking once they're at room temperature. If you're making pavlova, they're definitely better. So my eggs are always at room temperature, so I don't buy a lot in advance. I keep small quantities on me, so I've got fresh eggs kind of going through my kitchen all the time as well. So when it comes to my eggs, they are at room temperature, and of course the best quality eggs that you can purchase as well. We are making scrambled eggs, so it's a very simple, very quick process. All I need is my bowl. You don't need a whisk or anything. This is absolutely fine. And as you guys know, I've won quite a few awards for writing about breakfasts. I've also ran one of the busiest and most popular breakfast style restaurants in Australia. I was the head chef for a number of years. And if anyone has heard of Bill Granger, the celebrity chef, I ran his restaurant for a couple of years. Bill was never there because he's a busy man. He was always off doing stuff. So I was his go-to. And one of the things that Bill's is very famous for is his scrambled eggs. Bill never did eggs like this, by the way. His eggs were literally, there was no healthy version to his eggs. This is a healthy version. These are not Bill's eggs, these are Bridget's eggs. So 2 eggs I've got in there. So that's a portion of eggs. Remember that's around about 150 calories. You've got all that beautiful fat from the yolk. You've got all that protein as well, and you've got a little bit of carbs in there. So just a little bit of all you need, like I said, all you need is a fork just to break it through. 2 eggs. To that eggs, I'm also going to be adding in just a little bit of non-dairy milk. And it's up to you what milk you use. This is hemp milk that I actually make myself. So I make my own hemp milk because hemp is really good for us, good quality fats as well. You could also use almond, unsweetened almond. You could use oat milk. You could use coconut milk if you really wanted to. If you want my hemp recipe, I actually shared it recently in our ebook, Mahi, Bridget's Healthy Veggies, or bridgetshealthyveggies.com. It is in the plant-based ebook. So I'm using a little bit of my hemp milk that I made, and you just want a couple of, like 1 tablespoon per egg is all you need when it comes to the milk. 1 tablespoon per egg. If you don't want to add a non-dairy milk, you can leave it out. There's nothing, you don't have to have it in there. This is just going to help to give it just a little bit of lightness, which is really important as we're going through. A little bit of lightness, which is good, but it's not going to alter the flavor too much because we've only put just a tablespoon of the non-dairy milk into the eggs. So that's the mixture. I know, how crazy. Kind of simple, right? Kind of simple. The only other thing I'm going to add is, which is going to give it the cheesy stuff, the cheesy part of the recipe. The only thing I'm going to add, and no, it's not cheese, and it's not vegan cheese either, it is nutritional yeast. So what is nutritional yeast? For a start, nutritional yeast is not baker's yeast. That is baker's yeast. This is the stuff that we use to make bread. This is different. It's from the same family, but this you use for baking, for making bread and pastries and all that sort of stuff. This is like a food additive. It comes from the same family, but tastes completely different. It is processed completely different. So with that one there, if you were to sprinkle that into your eggs, that will be the most bitter, awful eggs you've ever had in your life. So only use those to make bread, okay? That's just for bread. Nutritional yeast, on the other hand, as I said, it's a food additive. Comes from the same family as the baking yeast, but totally processed completely different. And this is not bitter. In fact, this can be described as being quite savory. It's also cheesy. It's nutty. And the other wonderful thing, it's almost described like it has that umami ness to it. And if anyone has ever had Japanese food, especially like miso or even Parmesan cheese and mushrooms, they're all umami. They have a certain savoriness to them. They make your palate excited. That is what nutritional yeast is. And why am I using nutritional yeast? Because I'm doing, remember, a non-dairy cheesy eggs. This tastes a bit like cheese, which is fantastic. Really popular in the vegan world, actually, when it comes to adding flavor to food. But the other thing is, as you can imagine, it's nutritional yeast. So it's high in nutritional value. So nutritional yeast is really, really high in vitamins, and especially B vitamins. So B vitamins, I'll show you what it looks like on a spoon. B vitamins are really, really good for us. They're great for cellular repair. I'm talking about B12, energy, metabolism, all that sort of stuff. So that's what it looks like. That's what nutritional yeast looks like. Where can you buy it? You can buy it from a good supermarket or from the health food store. So you're looking for nutritional yeast as opposed to baker's yeast, yeah? So that's what we're going to be putting in later on. But we're going to start with this. This is the starting block. So I'm going to bring you a little bit closer to my little, woohoo, here we go. Oh, there you are. Okay, so you guys can see exactly what's going on inside of my frying pan, or wok if you want to. So I'm turning this on to medium heat, allowing that some time to heat up. Really important you don't put the eggs into a cold pan. We want them to go in to a warm pan, not a hot pan, just a warm pan. And as I was saying, I have been making these eggs, making this style of eggs, not these healthy ones. I was cooking the completely unhealthy ones. So I'm teaching you guys the technique to make some of the world's greatest scrambled eggs. Trust me, I ran the restaurant that was named as having the best scrambled eggs in the world. I was the head chef. I know that they're really good. I made them for Oprah. I know they're really good. But they were the non-healthy version. We are now doing the healthy version for you guys. So this makes breakfast just not just healthy, but delicious as well. So I can feel that's got a bit of heat coming off it now. I'm going to turn to, as you can see there, that is coconut oil. So I'm not using non-dairy, I'm not using any butter, and I'm not going to be tipping that in because that's a big load of coconut oil. I'm actually going to dip my brush into it and then just give it a really light going over. So probably not even half a teaspoon of coconut oil has gone in there. Why am I using coconut oil instead of butter? Non-dairy. The other reason I'm using coconut oil, it's a really, really healthy fat. Good for our brain, good for our body. We've got to have fat in our diet. Fat is not the enemy. Remember that, it's not the enemy. Gluten is the enemy. I know it's backwards, but that says gluten-free. Gluten is my enemy, that's for sure. All right, so coconut oil's in there. It's just starting to heat up. I can start to smell the coconut oil coming off the pan there. Medium to hot. Once I've got a little bit of a heat, a little bit of a sizzle going on, I'm then going to go to my Himalayan salt, which is my mineral salt, and I'm going to add a sprinkle of the salt to the base of the pan. Now the reason I'm doing that and not salting the eggs is the eggs don't spend much time in there. I want that salt to begin to heat up and begin to dissolve. Cooking the eggs gently is one of the ways that we can help to fortify this recipe and make it even healthier for us. You don't want to overcook your eggs ever, because once you start overcooking that yolk, you actually ruin a lot of the goodness that yolk has in there for your body. So for people who are like, I don't like runny eggs, you need to get used to them. They're good. All right, so you've got a little bit of a haze coming off here now. Eggs go in. And what you need to do is give it a bit of a shake. I've got a wooden spoon here. Resist the urge to scramble. I know it's hard, but this is where you need to resist the urge to scramble. And what I'm going to do instead is taking my wooden spoon, I'm just going to begin to very gently nudge the eggs around the pan. And as I'm nudging the eggs around the pan, the raw stuff is taking its place. So what we're getting here is the most incredibly fast cooked eggs. It will take you 30 seconds. In fact, guess what? Eggs are done. That's it. That's all it takes. Seriously, that is it. I've turned it off. There is no more heat going through there. All I'm going to do now is finish it off with a tablespoon of my nutritional yeast. That's all I'm doing. Finishing it off. My nutritional yeast. I might even add a little bit of black pepper to it. The eggs are done. It takes that long. 30 seconds. We want to cook it gently because we don't want it to spend that much time in there because we don't want to ruin the goodness in the yolk. But not only that, the other reason why I'm cooking it gently is because you get a very voluptuous cooked egg. It's almost like a folded egg as opposed to a scrambled egg is what people have told me, but it is absolutely delicious. You need that little bit of voluptuousness in there in order to make it amazing. So I'm going to plate up for you now. There's a couple ways that you can plate up. So what would you serve with your eggs? Well, traditionally, let's be honest, traditionally you serve it on my amazing gluten-free bread. This is a crusty bowl that I make. You guys know the crusty bowl recipe. I've just toasted it off. It toasts off so amazingly well. So traditionally, that's what we'll do, right? We'll serve it on toast. Let's just make sure it's gluten-free toast. This is my homemade crusty bowl. I shared that recipe a couple of weeks ago on Bridget's Kitchen and it went absolutely nuts. People love it. So if you want it, I suggest you download it. It is amazing. And what I do is I make a couple of breads at the same time in the oven, and I then slice them when they're cooked, and I freeze them down in slices. So then I've always got bread in my freezer ready to be defrosted, and I just defrost it by literally putting it inside the toaster frozen, and I get toasted hot bread every time. It's wonderful. So we're just going to put that on top, and that's classic, right? That is classic. But what makes this really, really, really delicious is the fact that we have those soft, cheesy, velvety. I don't know if you guys can see how kind of moist that is. Can you see the moisture glistening? You know, on the side there. You see that moisture glisten? That's what you want. That is ideal. You know how people always say to me, oh, as a chef you must really dislike serving people well done steak. Look, I'm not a fan, but I'm less of a fan of serving well done scrambled eggs. I am, because I just know how good this is. That moisture there, it is phenomenal. You now have such a healthy breakfast, even if you didn't do the bread, which is not as healthy, and you just did these eggs. If you didn't do the bread and you just want to do eggs, is there something else that you can add to it to make it that healthiest scrambled eggs ever? And of course there is. So where are we? You guys are here. Let me come back down here. For some reason it feels a little bit blurry. Come on back down. There we go. That's better. That's better. Right, so this is really healthy, as you know. Oh, look at it, it's delicious. It's so good. You just smash that. Just smash that. Happy days. But if you want to just take it one step further, and this is going to really fortify you for your day. This is going to keep you full. This is going to keep your brain protected and firing on all cylinders. This is going to make sure that you start your day off the best way. If you want to fortify that and just add one more thing to it, this is the best thing, like literally the best thing you can add to it, is grab yourself a big gorgeous salad. And when I talk about a salad, I'm talking about dark leafy greens. So in here I've got rocket or arugula, I also have kale, and I have spinach. Now they are three of my favorite dark leafy greens, and dark leafy greens are so incredibly good for us. Once again, this is roughage, this is going to keep us full longer, and we are literally setting ourselves up to have the best day ever food wise, because you're starting with this. All I would do is take the leaves and then take some of my pickled onion juice, sprinkle it over with a little bit of tamari, and you have, this is kind of like the perfect breakfast. You've got the natural occurring fat from the eggs, which is really good for us, and also in that non-dairy milk that you had as well. So you've got that, you've got the B vitamins from the nutritional yeast, which tastes amazing, savory, nutty, cheesy, umami nutritional yeast in there. But then you're going to top it all off with that wonderful big dark leafy green salad, which is going to help to protect your brain. It's going to help to keep you full. It is full of all the most amazing nutrients, vitamins, minerals, all that sort of stuff. And you know what? It is just going to, like I said, it's going to set you up. So for me, even without the bread's a bit of a treat. Let's be honest, the bread's a bit of a treat, but it's gluten free, so it's not that bad. But you double up with this, or you triple up with this, and you have the perfect breakfast: eggs and a big dark leafy green salad. Start your day off the right way. It is amazing. I did a kale video a couple days ago. If you guys want to scroll back through my videos and watch it, it was called How to Cook Kale So It Doesn't Suck. Like literally, I talk about how to make the perfect kale salad there as well, so you can have it raw. So there you go, guys. Thank you for joining me today. I know I talk quite a lot. I get excited about eggs. Eggs are the perfect food. They really are. Don't think eggs are the enemy. Remember, I've got lots of egg recipes in here, including my famous chicken scotch eggs, which is an amazing way to start your day as well. But you know what? Scrambled eggs with nutritional yeast. Amazing. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me. I hope to see you again really soon. We're off very soon, but we've got a few more videos coming up. We've got some really exciting recipes that I'm going to be sharing on Bridget's Kitchen too, coming up in the next week before we jet off to Singapore. So everyone for joining me today, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday or the rest of your weekend. To our American friends, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. And we'll see you really, really soon here in Bridget's Kitchen. Take care.